So I've talked about music a few times, hundreds of times. It's what I do, it's what I talk about a lot. And there's so many aspects of music to talk about, and people still get confused about how music plays a part in our lives and what kind of music should we listen to and, all of that. And today's another one of those days. Coming up next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. We are metal, we are family. It's a cool mug, isn't it? We started using this term a few years ago to really define this movement, this metal movement, because we really are family in it. And, it kind of becomes that way when you're a metalhead, honestly. There's a camaraderie that people have, just sharing the musical style, and we're all that way. You can tell usually by looking at someone generally what kind of music they listen to. It's not just the music, it's the style, it's the people you hang out with. It's all of that. And you can tell a metalhead many times by the way they look, by the way they act sometimes, and by the people they hang out with as well. So music is more than just tunes, than just melody or screaming or whatever. Music becomes a lifestyle, and that's why it's important that we really understand this whole thing. So the question today is really good. Dear Pastor Bob, what does church music sound like? I love this one. I am constantly told in my church that my love for heavy metal is satanic and that I should just listen to Christian music. Evidently, Christian heavy metal is not on that list, and in a lot of churches it's not. Well, usually the music, that we define as acceptable is the music that we like ourselves. And a lot of it just has to do with personal taste. Now, if we would go back and listen to the kind of music the Bible is talking about in Psalm 150, or the kind of music they use to worship with, we wouldn't like it. It's a very different style of music. Yeah, definitely not what the church listens to today. So really, we're not talking about historically about, what music do we listen to. We're mostly talking about what style, according to my personal tastes and my personal opinion, should I listen to. Now, the Bible really talks about two kinds of music, and I've chosen not to go through a lot of Bible study here because I want to just speak from my heart to you. And by the way, I have done a lot of podcasts, probably hundreds, on music. If you look at the notes below, you'll see that there is a page, a topical list of my podcasts, and I have thousands of them. And if you look up music, you'll find a lot of them. But I've done this many times before, going through the scriptures on it. But let me just mention two to you. One is talking about worship, and it talks about stilling your heart before the Lord and singing praise to God. Another is celebration. Psalm 150 is all about celebration. And obviously there's some worship there too, but it's about celebration. It's about making a joyful noise unto the Lord, And it talks about the loud clashing cymbals, the harp and the lyre, electric guitar. The clashing cymbals, this is important that we understand that there is this distinction. And you wouldn't use that music to quiet your heart in worship. So there's really two different kinds. When we listen to worship music, the kind that quiets our heart before the Lord, we really all have that in common. No matter what musical style you like, we come together with worship. And that's the greatest part. And then when it comes to celebration, all hell breaks loose. Well, not exactly. All heaven breaks loose. There you go. there's so many different ways to express that. One isn't more correct than another. Music is a way of celebration depending on what you enjoy. So when the church begins to make rules about what kinds of music are acceptable, it's a fine line. It's a really fine line. What is acceptable in the church is worship. And that can be done, it depends on the culture. You can go around the world and find different kind of worship, but generally it's worship that we agree on. And when we say worship these days, we realize that there's a whole worship community. There are people that make their living off of writing worship songs and performing them and leading worship events and all of that. And you can go crazy with that. There's a lot of it. Crazy in a good way. But then when we talk about celebration, we can talk about anything from country western to hip hop to heavy metal, and everything in between. Yeah. It doesn't matter the style of music, it's what you like. And you use what you like to celebrate your faith. And I love it that we have this kind of diversity in the church. When a church says we don't allow diversity, yikes. Because it isn't a biblical stand. It just isn't a biblical stand. And deciding that one style of music is satanic and another isn't, I've not made any kind of cover-up that I'm not a huge fan of country western music. Just not. And there are some country songs that I think are done well and that I don't mind. But for the most part, especially old country, I just cannot get into it. And I listen to Christian country, and I don't know why anybody's blessed by that. Why? Because I don't like it. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean that a whole lot of people, should stop listening to it because I don't like it. And we've done that with a lot of different styles of music. We've said, well, we don't allow this in the church. We don't allow that in the church. We just allow this. And, there are churches, and there's the Cowboy Church here in Nashville. There's actually a few different chapters of it that do very hardcore country music. Can we say hardcore country? Very traditional country western music. And I would enjoy worshiping with the people. I would not enjoy the music so much. Now, nothing wrong with it. They meet a need with so many people, which is awesome. But you see what I'm saying here? It really is personal taste, and we find some camaraderie with the people that are kind of like-minded. And that's why we do this. We are metal. We are family, because it creates a family. It creates a family of people who enjoy the same things and are kind of on the same page with music. And along with the music, the style, the motivation, the thinking, all of those things that go along with it. And we enjoy that. You enjoy that. Whatever kind of music you like, you enjoy being with like-minded people who enjoy what you enjoy. So anyway, that's what I want to say about it today. You can go and listen to a lot of my other podcasts. You'll see the link below for the topical list of all of the podcasts. And it's not up to date, by the way. The podcasts from the last couple of years are not there. And we are in the process of trying to get it updated. I'm just kind of short on people to do it. But anyway, you'll see it there, and I've done a lot of podcasting for a lot of years on it. So folks, don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.